This is a Shields of Shame exclusive.
Welcome back to another Shields of Shame exclusive video series. Today, we delve into the matter surrounding Sergeant James Brown, Sergeant Orlando Almon, and the center of it all, Jailer Nathanael Stiles of the Whitfield County Sheriff's Office. Caught in the lens of scrutiny, Nathanael Stiles finds himself amidst a narrative that demands attention and scrutiny. The incident in question involves Stiles' assault on an inmate, captured on camera for all to witness. Please let me know what you think about this incident in the comments below. As we embark on this investigative journey, it is imperative to discern the layers of complexity within this case. While our focus centers on Jailer Nathanael Stiles and Sergeant Orlando Almon, whose actions are under intense scrutiny, it is crucial to acknowledge that the ramifications extend far beyond this singular event. With each unfolding revelation, we confront a tapestry of corruption and misconduct, a narrative that demands our collective attention. Join us as we navigate through the intricate web of inquiries, shedding light on truths that have long been obscured. Your engagement is pivotal in our pursuit of justice and accountability. Subscribe and share this video to amplify our message and catalyze change within our society. Thank you for your support as we confront the shadows of corruption that linger within our midst.
It's Tuesday, April 27, 2021. Time is now 8:38 a.m. Special Agent Adam Jones, located at the Whitfield County Sheriff's Office, to conduct an interview with Sergeant Orlando Almon. Well, appreciate you coming in and talking to me.
No problem.
So your shift, who consists of your shift?
It's myself, Nathan Stiles, Carli Redman, and Tara Williams.
Were they all working that night?
I don't know. No. Tara was not off that night because I believe
She was
off. That was a Tuesday. If it was Tuesday or Wednesday, she was off both of those days. So it was me, Stiles,
and Williams,
and no, Redman. Williams was off.
Oh, okay. Got that mixed up. Appreciate that. Yeah, at any point in time I say something wrong, don't be afraid to be like, you're wrong. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings, I promise. All right, so Williams was off.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So your shift starts at some point in time, I'm guessing around 11. Aaron, how does Aaron Pass get to the jail?
He comes in, I can't remember what he was brought in on. I want to say it was alcohol and some other stuff, but the Dalton officer brings him in. Officer Stiles goes out because we have a pre-COVID screening that we have to do in the Sally Port.
Okay.
Officer Stiles is out there doing that with the guy. I think everything's fine. Stiles comes in, he's still wearing his face shield. He's like, he's going to be a red mask. I'm like, okay.
He's going to be a red mask. What does that mean?
That means he potentially has COVID or has been around somebody with COVID. The reason we were going to segregate him was because when Stiles is asking him his intake questions, he just shuts down and says, I don't know. Most of them do that. So Stiles is talking to him, and before the initial pat down, hey man, do you have anything on you that's going to poke me, stab me, hurt me, kill me, any drugs, anything like that? And he says, you'll find out in a minute. So as soon as he says you'll find out in a minute, I just step off the platform just to step off the platform. Stiles starts his pat down, and then the guy just looks at me, and I'm literally not saying anything. He just looks at me and he's like, you shut the fuck up. And I'm like, I'm not saying anything. He just continues. So Stiles is patting him down, and I'm just there just in case he starts, getting more irate. So then he's like, hey man, take your mask down. And I'm like, no. I was like, you're not getting me in trouble. He's like, take your mask down. I'm like, no. So then, after a couple back and forths of that and some profanities towards the Lord and all this other stuff, he, blows me a kiss. And Stiles thinks he spits on me, so he puts him up on the counter.
What did Stiles say? He thought he spit?
Yes.
Is this during the time?
Yes, this is during the time.
So he's like,
yeah,
don't spit on people.
Yeah.
What does Stiles do that makes you think he...
Because he put him up there, and he's like, we don't spit on people.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't, I didn't know that. So
yep.
We tell him, no sign because of the way he's acting, and we go to take him to the padded cell.
Now, how do you go to take him?
We just, grab his arms and escort him to the padded cell.
No, is he restrained?
He is restrained.
Okay. Who is restrained him?
The officer that brought him in. The Dalton
police.
Yes.
Okay.
So we go in there, and we tell him, go to your knees. He doesn't go to his knees, and man, normally it's the people that I work with that's doing the majority of the stuff. So we're on the same page of like, hey, if this doesn't work, we'll go to this. Well, we had another individual in there, which it's in there, so it's not like I'm diming anybody out. James Brown was in there.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Styles go to sweep him. He blocks the sweep. James Brown picks him up by his feet. He gets dumped, folds up a little bit, and Styles is telling him to stop moving. I don't know if he's moving because he just got dumped and folded in the way he did. And he's still resisting a little, not to the point where I should have did what I did. The next day when Lieutenant come in, I immediately, I told him myself, I don't want anybody telling me. I'll tell him myself if I do wrong. I told Lieutenant, I was like, yeah, I hit the guy. I was like, and Lieutenant's like, that's not that bad. I'm like, yeah, it's bad. I was like, I hit him while he was handcuffed.
They get in the padded cell. You come in. They try and sweep the legs. It doesn't take. You're going to get the feet. And about that time, he passes up, kind of, you said, like an A. And he goes down on the ground, at which point you grab his legs and hold him. And you catch the tail end of Almon striking.
Yes.
Did you see his hand? Was his fist open, closed?
It was a closed fist.
Closed fist. Did you, from what happened in the cell, did you sustain any injuries? Did marks, bruises?
Yeah, I had big old knots all over my head.
You
Right
did?
here on the back of my head, and I had one right here from where, instead of my nose and my teeth going into the ground, I turned my head, and that was the part beside of my head right here is what hit.
Because anytime I mess up, I call a supervisor.
Best thing to do. Go ahead and get it off. Don't let it fester.
So, but I told him, I was like, hey man, I said, this is what happened. I said, I hit the guy. I was like about 9 times, and I watched the video and I counted to make sure I wasn't like, saying one thing and it not be the other. And when I asked Styles what had happened or what he perceived to have happened, he didn't know that Brown had lifted him up.
Mm-hmm.
So he thought he was jumping towards us, and I'm like, well,
I'll told you this after the fact.
yes.
Okay.
So we, I hit him those times. We got the cuffs off of him. We left. I started my initial report. I gave Pass a little while to calm down, adrenaline to calm down. I went back in. I said, hey man, do you need to see medical? He didn't say anything to me. I said, so are you refusing medical? He didn't say anything to me. I said, okay. So we left him in there for a little while, and then I think it was about 4 o'clock, 4 or so, we moved him into the home tank 5. And because he was just like, I want to lay down and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay. We put him in there, and then I asked him again. I said, hey, do you want to see medical? He never said anything.
But he was checked out by medical eventually.
He was checked out, yeah.
I've been doing this 3 years. This is my 17th year doing this. And something I've learned is if you're not there, I'm not one of those that watch something on TV and be like, my first response was, I wasn't there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But you said you shouldn't have hit him 9 times. Is it because, and help me understand, because we're all human. Were you amped up or?
No, and it wasn't, I guess after the first 2, if they weren't doing what they were supposed to, I should have just went to something else or just stopped altogether. But
What made you decide to hit him in the head? I mean, if you're angry, you're angry.
no,
You're being honest with
I
me,
wasn't.
so-
I wasn't angry. It was just that was literally like if you watch the video, and you know how like in certain moments you get tunnel vision. That was like the only part of the body, since he was folded, that I could like hit, grab, or whatever else.
What were you perceiving as like? How was Pass a threat to you? How were you perceiving Pass at that time?
I wanted him to stop moving because Styles was saying he was moving, and I trust Styles because I've worked with him. I mean, you look at the majority of my use of force, Styles is there. I'm not saying Styles is, the hey man, you should do this type person or anything, but like, I trust him with my life, even though I've only worked with him for a year.
How long you been sergeant?
A year.
There you go. So
A
you've
year
been his
here.
sergeant.
Yeah, a year here. I was a supervisor at the prison for 2 years,
So, and I don't like doing like hindsight. You've watched the video, you did the report now, and you've had to correct your report. Is that
Yes,
all
sir.
right? And that was after speaking with the supervisor. They're like, hey, why did you yank his pants off?
Because he had another pair of pants on.
Okay.
And I was just taking them off just to make sure they didn't have anything in them.
Mhm.
Because when we do, like, anybody comes in, they either get a twofer or they get a threefer. If it's anything related to drugs, they get a double pat down, then they get a 120. He only
120. I know what that is, but
it's
contraband search. It's strip search.
Yes, it's a disrobe search.
Now that's considered a use of force, correct?
What
A disrobe?
No,
it's not.
no,
Okay.
it's not. The reason I took his off was to double check them because we only had the one initial, and then he started acting up.
And that's policy to do.
Two. Yes.
Gotcha.
Because you might miss something on the first one.
Right. Gotcha. So, and I'm not here to beat you up. Facts. I wasn't there.
I've already beat myself up. My wife's beat me up a little bit, and
So you talked to your wife about it?
Yeah.
What did you tell her?
I told her I was like, it's like, I made a boo boo.
And this is just two guys talking here. I deal with people who mess up, and they will sit there right where you're at and give me the hardest freaking time. So I appreciate you coming in here and acknowledging that you messed up.
No, I mean, like, literally, anytime I mess up, like, if it's one of them I can call, if it's not, like, really late, I'll be like, hey, man, I've messed up a little bit,
And so just to explain, you said, I read your report, your final report, 9 times, you hit him in the head. It looked like hammer strikes, so.
It was just closed fist this side of the head.
Okay, and you were making contact?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't good contact, obviously, but.
And so he was moving, was he moving on his own? Were other officers moving him?
What I can remember, he was moving on his own. I don't know if he was moving because Styles had hit him a couple times or if he was moving because I hit him. And then I was just like, this ain't working, so I need to stop.
At some point in time, Styles gets the taser out.
Yes.
Okay. I'm familiar with the taser, and I'm familiar with arcing it just to show people, hey, keep up, I'm going to tase you. Been trained, just pull up, sit there and arc it, look at them. But I've never been trained to put it up by their head and do it. Is that something common?
He wasn't, like, Styles had asked him if he could understand, and he wasn't. I don't know if it's because I had hit him a couple times or what. So Styles just puts it to his ear, and he was like, hey, or not like directly by his ear, but like by his head, and he was like, hey, if, when these cuffs come off, if you do anything, he's like, I'll tase you, and he arced it.
So I'm not going to do this because I wasn't there. I'm not going to tell you what I would do or what your captain would do or your lieutenant would do. If you had it to do all over again, what would you do differently in this situation?
Not have Brown with us.
Well,
I've never had, in all my taking people down, I've never had one just jerked up like that before. I'm not saying Brown was wrong. I appreciate him being there, but I think that, I'm not blaming it on that. I think that kind of just messed my rhythm up. Because normally we'll leg sweep, and if that won't work, we'll just kind of pick them up and set them down. And then go from there.
so when you're saying he's belligerent, how is he being? I know what belligerent is, but you got to define belligerent.
He was coming in and like, he was just passive aggressive towards Styles' questions.
Passive aggressive.
Hey, do you have anything on you? You'll find out.
Okay.
Do you have COVID? Have you been around anybody that's had COVID? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, once he said that you'll find out if you have anything on me, I just stepped down because it's, me and one other female. So instead of, hey, go to the wolves, little, young one, I stepped down just in case it did go bad from him. So I stepped down and I'm just standing there and like Styles is talking to him, trying to get him to open up a little bit. He's not opening up. He looks at me a couple times, tells me to, F off, and I'm like, I'm not even doing anything, dude. And, he's like, after he blew the kiss or whatever and Styles pushed him up against the thing, he said, what are y'all going to do, George Foreman me? And I'm like, I'm like, this dude is not, like, something's not right.
So when you gave him, when y'all were getting him into the cell, you said you told him to get down.
Go to his knees.
How long before you telling him that to try attempting the leg sweep?
It's a couple seconds.
Okay. Couple as in two?
It's about 3.
3 seconds. Does he acknowledge you? What does he do? What does his body language do? What does he say?
Nothing.
Nothing. So, okay. And he's still handcuffed behind his back. Okay. He remains handcuffed behind his back pretty much until y'all take the cuffs off.
Yes, sir.
Were there any calls from the Dalton PD officer? Like I know sometimes if they've got an unruly person, they'll call the jail ahead and be like, hey.
Sometimes they will. Sometimes we find out when they get here.
Well, how about with past? Do you remember getting any call?
I do not know. If I did, it would have been in my report. Because normally when I try to write a report, I try to write like, you know, the central control tech called or dispatch called. So I can't really remember.
All right. So let me ask you this: with past, was he, in your experience, have you dealt with intoxicated people a lot? You just high, I'm sure, being brought into booking. Did he appear to be under the influence of anything?
Of alcohol, at least.
Okay. And what makes you say that?
Just how, like, his eyes, they weren't like really, really glossy, but they were glossy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, because sometimes Dalton will bring people in on stuff, but they won't charge them all the time.
And I meant to ask you earlier, you go by Orlando?
That's fine, yeah.
What do people call you? What do you...
Here they call me that.
They call you Orlando here?
Yeah.
What do they call you outside? Just curious. Man.
Just Lee.
They call you Lee? You go by your middle name?
Yeah, I go by my middle name.
I could have called you Lee. I'm sitting here calling you.
No, it's fine, man.
So, Lee, I'm going to go get me some coffee and look at my other set of notes I got out here. Do you need any water, bathroom break, coffee, anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Just a couple follow-up questions, and we'll watch video and get going. All right. So, after all this happened, who all have you talked to about this incident?
Like that works here?
Well, just, yeah, anybody law enforcement related.
Lieutenant, Captain,
So Lieutenant Picton, Captain
Lynch, and Lieutenant McMillan knows.
Okay. But did you talk to him about it?
No.
Okay, so other than closed fists, did you use any other type of force?
No, sir.
Okay. Just the escort, which is common in my experience.
Yes, sir.
All right, so something through the interviews that I found out. Oh, did you sustain any injuries at any point in time?
No, sir.
Okay. Was there any point in time that you thought Pass was going to injure you or the other officers in the room?
No, sir.
Okay. So you did your report. Supervisor kicked it back and had you edit it, or not edit it, revise it. Supervisor kicked it back and had you edit it, or not edit it, revise it. And Pass was handcuffed behind his back?
Yes, sir.
Double lock?
Yes, sir.
Chained or hinged, do you remember? Have you
I think they may have been hinged.
May have been hinged, but you don't know for sure.
If
you don't know,
I do not know for sure.
Okay. Have there been any, I know you're going to have use of force reports, that comes with the territory. Have you had any that have risen to this level, like have been questioned or, hey, whoa, anything like that? All right. After all this happened, did you and Styles watch the video together?
Yes.
Okay. And you accessed that through your computer?
Yes.
In the back? Okay. What was the conversation going on with that?
There really wasn't one.
Did Sergeant Brown come and talk to you after the incident? He didn't? He didn't come up and confront you about the...
No, I mean, I talked to him about it, and he was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have did that. But aside from that, there was no...
But after the fact, y'all did talk, and he
Yes.
told you probably shouldn't have done that. Okay.
Yeah. Which it was about 5 minutes after I did it, and I watched the video, I was like, I probably shouldn't have did that. So I already knew that I shouldn't have did it, and then...
And granted, I'm not there.
Yeah.
So I'm going by what you said. I appreciate you being truthful with me. I'm going to watch the video, and I just kind of want you to listen. Not the best quality. And it's not because of the video. It's because of the thing playing it, it might freeze up. But I want you to kind of just walk me. I'm going to try and pause it in between, so bear with it. There might be a little lag. So, all right, what's going on here, and who is that? Who's this?
So that's Styles, me, Pass, and then you got Brown coming along.
All right, and where is this at?
That's the booking padded cell.
So if you got the little booking box on both sides, there's the entrance to the sally port, and if memory serves, the padded cells are right to the left or to the right if you come in from the sally port.
Yes, sir.
This is the one to the left, I'm assuming.
If you're on the platform, it's to the right.
All right. Is anything going on right here? Is there any talking or
No.
no talking?
No,
Okay.
just escort.
All right.
And then there's talking, like as soon as we cross the threshold, hey man, as soon as we get in here, go to your knees.
Okay. Does he respond?
No.
Pass does not?
Does not say anything.
All right. So that was an attempted leg sweep.
Yeah,
that happened
attempted
pretty fast. Okay. All right. He's on the ground. That's his head. That's his butt.
Yeah.
All right. And then I can't see Styles because that's Brown, and then that's you still.
Yep.
So I see Styles' elbow going up. The other angle, he's punching him. Does he say, is Styles saying anything during that time?
He's saying stop.
Styles is saying stop.
Yes, sir. He's saying stop.
Is Pat saying anything?
He's not saying anything.
Okay.
Pretty much when we told him we were taking him in there, the only thing he said in between there was he's like, you can come in here with me. And I'm like, nah, it doesn't work like that.
Oh, coming into the...
Yeah. He's like, you can come to the padded cell with me. I'm like, no, it don't work like that.
So he just took a liking to you, or what's going on there?
I don't know. I mean, he did try to blow me a kiss, so I mean, he...
All right. So at this point, that's the...
Yeah.
All right. And you're saying shouldn't have done that. Is he doing... There's different types of resistance, and I'm not going to get into all the... Because there was just physical, there was like passive resistance. That's pretty much like, hey, get on the ground. No. Pass it. What's going on with him at this time?
It's a combination of passive and like... I said he was moving, but I don't know if that was because of Styles' actions.
But at the time, what did you perceive at the time? After the fact, I don't care about. During the time,
He was moving.
he was moving in your mind. Okay, but he's still handcuffed.
Yes.
Okay.
So not really that big of a threat, which is why, you know.
So Styles just that looked like a lunging knee. Okay. What was going on with Styles when he did that?
I honestly do not know.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Earlier you mentioned tunnel vision. What is tunnel vision to you?
Just focused in on one thing.
Okay.
And my focus was directed at Pass. And I'm surprised I saw the radio.
Okay.
I'm really surprised I saw the radio come off.
And that was Styles.
Styles' radio.
Okay. Now this is his head still right here, and then Brown is on his on past his legs, correct?
Yes, sir.
Styles is at the back side. It's kind of hard to tell. Now there's the taser. He arcs it right by his face, it looks like right there. But he never tases him that you're aware of.
No, he does not tase him at all.
Okay. Now, looked like you were saying something at that time. Do you remember saying anything?
I told him that,
You're talking about Pass.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I told him that, you know, we were going to take the cuffs off of him. If he did anything that we perceived to be a threat or that he shouldn't do, he'd probably get tased.
Mm-hmm. So at that point, when you had hit, punched, was he a danger? Was Pass a danger to anybody in there?
No.
Okay. And he was, and at the time, you thought he was moving. He wasn't saying anything.
Mm-hmm. Later on, he starts getting up and moving around, and I'm like, he should be calm. I said, I'm good. I said, you know, no hard feelings. I was like, if he had to spit at me, you know, I don't hold grudges. So I go and I talk to him, and I said, hey, I said, do you need anything? He said, I need a bathroom. He was like, and it's cold in here. I said, okay. I said, if you give me a couple minutes, I said, I'll move you to a holding tank that it's a little bit better. I said, I'll give you a mat. You can lay down. You know, I set the mat up. I get him. I escort him from there to the other cell. He sits down. I ended up feeding him breakfast. I said, do you need medical? You know, I asked him again. He said no. I said, okay. The only thing that he really, and it wasn't even that day, it was the next night when I come back to work, the only thing he asked me, he was like, hey, did my money get put on my books?
Okay.
I said, yes, sir, your $17 got put on your books.
All right. Do you have any questions for me? So just being straightforward with you, what we normally do with this is we go meet with the district attorney. Once we gather everything, I'm still in the fact-finding, gathering stage, and that takes a couple of days. But we'll present the facts to them, and we'll make a determination. You know, like I said, we'll just do a criminal aspect of it. I'm not the type that you haven't given me a reason to come surprise you or do anything like that. Conversation, just like before. Call you on the phone, you know, determine what's over. Where it might be a supervisor here, each department handles it differently.
Yes, sir.
Okay. With that being said, I may have to do some follow-up questions. Would that be okay? We can probably do that on the phone. If need be, be a recorded phone call. If you don't have any questions for me, I'm going to get out of here. Sergeant Jones and Rivera need to talk to you for a minute. Okay. So I'm going to gather my stuff up. You need to go to the bathroom, water,
I'm good.
coffee. You sure?
I'm good.
All right, man. Off early in the morning for a night shift guy not to have some coffee.
I actually got to sleep a little bit last night.